I'll be teaching JS3 basic technology, and the topic is wood fittings. That is what we will discuss today. By definition, let us explain wood fittings. Wood fittings can simply be defined as the process or method used in fixing two or more pieces of wood together. I repeat, I said this is a process or method which is used in fixing two or more pieces of wood together. Example, if you want to fix a door, this is what we call a door frame. This is a door frame. And you want to fix this door. Then you have the door. You want to fix the door on this door frame. This is the real door now. You want to fix it here. What you need to do, you need to introduce what we call fittings. The fittings that will hold the door and then the door frame. And the fitting that will be used here is called hinges or hinge. Hinge or hinges. You fix one of the hinge up and then one of the hinge down. Now, after that, you can now open the door freely without any problem. But the frame will now hold the real door firmly without any problem. That is one of the advantage of fittings. Now, we have classification of fittings. Fittings can be classified into various groups. One of the group is known as screws. We have screws, and then two, we have nails, we have hinges, we have locks, bolt and nut, and also knockdown joint. I repeat, classification of hinges, classification of fittings. One, we have screws, we have nails, hinges, locks, nut and bolt, and also knockdown joint. These are the few groups of hinges that we have in woodwork. Let us discuss them one after the other. Let us start with first group, which is known as what? Screws. Let us explain screws. Screws are devices which are used in fixing man-made board. I repeat, screws are devices which are used in fixing man-made board. And the screws are made from brass and also mild steel. The screw has thread around the body part. The screws has thread around the body part which enable it possible to hold materials firmly. These are the threading, and then it also has a part called the head, and then also has a part called the tip. That is part of screws. Remember, I told you that the screws basically are used mostly in fixing of man-made board. And what is a man-made board? Man-made board are materials which are produced from wood stripes or wood particles. And I have one example of man-made board here, which is known as plywood. This is a man-made board. And we use screws in joining two or more pieces of man-made board. That is what we call man-made board. Moving back to our lesson. And under the screws, we also have different types of screws. There are different types of screws. One, we have countersink screw, we have round head screw, we have chipboard screw, and also we have rise head screw. Basically, these are the few types of screws that we have in woodwork. Now, let us explain the types one after the other. We have the countersink. The countersink is a type of screw that is basically used in woodwork. It's a general purpose screw that is used in woodwork. And this example of countersink screw, a countersink screw has a flat head and there is a groove. That's a groove. This is a countersink screw. This is a countersink screw. Like I told you, it is generally used in woodwork. It has a threading, and then the threading is not all around the body. The threading stops around the center of the body of the screw. That is the countersink screw. And then we have round head screw. The difference between the countersink and then the round head is from the head. The round has a round head, and then there is a groove. This is the difference between the countersink and then the round head screw. And then the round head screw, it is also used in joining two or more pieces of man-made board, and especially where countersink screw is not possible, you cannot introduce the round head screw. That is the function of the round head screw. And then we have chipboard screw. The chipboard screw is used for fixing door handles. The chipboard screw, it is used in fixing of chipboard, especially the chipboard used in producing doors. You can use it to fix the handle. And you have a door. Make sure that the material of the door must be all chipboard. It must be cheap. That is one of the names in time of man-made board. We have chipboard, we have particle board. But this chip screw is basically used on this type of materials. Especially if you have another part of it you want to join, then you bring it close and then you screw it. Then the next one is right head screw. The right head screw is also a device that is used in fixing door handles. After production of door, and then you introduce the handle, and then the handle will help you in opening and closing of the door. So the door handle cannot stand on its own, and you need to introduce the method how to fix the door handle, which is known as, and then the particular type of screw that is possible on this is the right head screw. The right head screw, the head has a very good thickness compared to countersink, and then cheap. This is the screw. This is the right head screw. The difference between the head. And then mostly to identify screws is through their head. And these screws can be forced into materials using a screwdriver. Screwdriver is a hand tool that can be used to force in screws in and out of material. Remember, I told you the topic we discussed is wood fittings, and I told you that wood fittings are devices which are used in joining two or more wood pieces. And we also look at the classification of wood fittings, which I mentioned. We have nails, hinges, we have locks, nuts, bolt and nuts, and then also knockdown joints. And we discussed one of the group which is known as screws. And I told you that the screws are used in fixing materials, especially man-made board. And we also discussed types of screws, which we have countersink, which is used for general purpose in woodwork. And then we have the round head, which is used where countersink screw is not possible. You use what we call a round head. And then we have chipboard screw, which is used in fixing of chipboard. And then we have the right head screw, which is used for fixing door handles. And with this, we have come to the end of our lesson today. And next, I will send you a note, and make sure you copy the note and also draw the various types of screws that you may encounter with. Thank you and God bless you.